comment.
Yes. Isn't there a sign on every machine that says malfunction voids all jackpots to protect the casino?
Actually, the exact language is malfunction voids all pays and plays, and that's absolutely correct.
Can you imagine the disappointment that they must have felt, though, to think that you had just won over $400,000 and then find out it's because the machine wasn't working properly? I mean, I know that doesn't make you say, well, gee, you take the money, but I mean, I can kind of see how people might sympathize with that, going from feeling like you were...
I do as well. I mean, the heartache is probably genuine, and I feel very bad for that. Nevertheless, it wasn't a win.
The rule. Okay. Patty, your question or comment? Patty, are you there? Hello? Okay, Patty's not there. How often are machines taken out and destroyed? Is it just because they're not playing well, or is it because they have malfunctioned?
Well, in this case, it's been slated. There's just newer games that are coming out to replace them on the floor. Nevada nickels, and there's strict regulations on the removal of the machines and if we want to take a system out. So we've applied to have that system taken out just because the popularity of the games have waned. So they'd be removed as general casinos whenever they make a request to do so. They also change their mix. If the nickel play isn't doing good and they want to replace them with quarters. There's still many mega jackpot machines on Arizona Charlie's floors. Nevada nickels, like a few of the other machines that weren't doing well, have been replaced by newer products. It's also on an old platform. It's our S Plus platform that is a game that we're not selling currently. We've got newer technology and even more security involved with the machines that we're building. So it's a natural progression. That machine was probably 10 years old.
All right. Ricky, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
If those machines is a progressive machine that goes all throughout the state, why don't they use videotape instead of a regular camera on those machines to prevent stuff like this from happening?
Well, let me just generally talk about surveillance cameras. There are very sophisticated surveillance cameras. I know television has touted the Mirage and Bellagio have some of the most sophisticated. Others, they're very expensive systems that they have. So not every inch of your casino has to be covered. Some of them alternate randomly. The cameras will go on in an area and they'll go off. There is regulations on certain machines that we do have to have full-time 24-hour surveillance. Megabucks is that way. But every one of our systems doesn't have that requirement. In this case, the nickel game just simply didn't require a full-time dedicated surveillance camera. So you are on the off chance that if there was a camera pointed in the direction that would happen to catch it at that moment. I don't know that there were cameras in this area and it wasn't a requirement. And for Arizona Charlie's, it's an operator question. This is one occurrence in their history that's ever happened, so I don't think it dictates that you need them on every machine to have the surveillance cameras. Many players don't like having the surveillance cameras, but many of them are required, and we follow the restrictions by the Gaming Control and Gaming Commission.
Well, in addition, there's a security backup system, and that is the computer that monitors all the progressive machines that are linked. Because they're controlled by microprocessors, those microprocessors tell the monitoring computer really before the player even knows. It's just microseconds before it's manifested by the reels lining up and the bells going off. But still, the monitoring computer knows when there's a winning combination because that stops the progressive meter from going in all the other locations.
So it's a backup system to just check and balance.
Absolutely. It's the only way you can do a monitoring or a progressive.
Okay. Karen, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Go ahead. Hi.
Hi. I had to say about that is I think the casinos put as many slot machines as they can into a casino floor. These people are there as patrons, as customers. And if a machine decides to malfunction, it should be the casino's responsibility. It's not the patron's responsibility.
So, Karen, are you saying that there should have been some sort of, I don't know, payoff to these people just for their for the heart attack that they
spend our money time after time after time, and I don't think it's the customer's responsibility that the machine's jammed. It's the casino.
Do you have any response?
Well, I'd just like to clarify the fact that Arizona Charlie's isn't responsible for paying the jackpot. This is an IGT responsibility as far as the liability of the payment of the jackpot. There's no financial gain to Arizona Charlie's to keep that money. The money in question here goes back on the machine, and it's won by a valid winner.
Eventually it is won.
There's absolutely no advantage for IGT or Arizona Charlie's, but the party here that's responsible for the payment is IGT. And again, we're prepared to pay that jackpot if the Supreme Court rules in their favor. Ultimately, it would go against the verification process of the machine, but that's what the court system's there for, and they're having their day in court.
Okay. Patty, are you back?
Yes, I
Ma'am.
Go ahead, Patty.
Yes, I was just wondering, since the videotape what wasn't kept and the machine was destroyed, so as players, are we allowed then to take our own video cameras and if we want, be able to tape as we're going along in case something like that happens?
Well, most casinos don't allow videotaping on their casino floor. Some do. That would be up to you if you wanted to try to do that. You could ask the casino if you decided to make that determination. But the thing that they said that the videotape was destroyed in some way, it never existed. There was no camera trained on this machine. There was no surveillance cameras ever done. So this isn't something, I think Mr. Pepitone maybe misstated that just slightly in the fact that there was no surveillance tape to begin with. It would have been great if it was.
He contends that there was a tape and it was lost or destroyed, or...
He's jumping to conclusions. There's no indication that there was ever a tape. As I said before, the minimum internal control standards, the security standards for Arizona Charlie did not require a camera to be on these machines, and therefore one was not.
Okay. All righty. Mike, are you there? Go ahead.
To me, it sounds too, in Arizona's behalf. I mean, there's no film on it. The machine was destroyed. I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, I think. And if it was all this, they should have pay out these people something. Because did they give their money back of losing a machine that wasn't paying out?
Could they give their 15 cents back? That would be one indication that it's possible.
What happened in this case is because the machine lost because of the malfunction, when the technician opened the machine, reset it, the reels continued to go. The combination has already been pre-selected by the microprocessor. Once that malfunction is cleared, the game continues, and it was not a winning combination.
And the verifying factor is the state agent. You had a state agent that came and went through the verification process. They have the determination.
They
were there with the
technician.
technicians. They're an unbiased party. You know, all of the speculation that goes towards that, they are the governing body, and the state doesn't answer to IGT nor Arizona Charlies. We certainly answer to them.
Okay. All right. Joe, are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, the 4 machines that they had pulled out of Arizona Charlie, do they still have more of those machines throughout the state that are on this progressive line?
The Nevada Nichols line is still going. It's scheduled to be removed at the next jackpot. One of the stipulations is that if you have a jackpot on those, that you can't remove the system until that jackpot hits. So it is scheduled, all of the machines, to come offline in the near future when the next jackpot hits.
Okay. All right, we're going to quickly fit in one last call. We want to apologize to everybody who's been on hold because we've been generating a lot of calls and questions about this. Peggy, go ahead.
I'm real curious about this progressive, and you're yanking a progressive bank of machines out of Arizona Charlie that does get, whether the house gets a percentage of the progressive or what. Does that progressive end up in slot heaven, or, where does that money go for that house that those players have an opportunity to win?
I think you just answered that.
Exactly right.
We asked them to turn down their television, so she probably just didn't hear the last question. So if she's listening now, if you wouldn't mind just briefly repeating your...
Yeah, the state regulates that, ma'am, so that when you have a progressive jackpot, it has to be won before you come out. All monies have to be put back on the floor for them to be won. So there's no advantage. They're pulled out after a jackpot, and that's the process that will happen here.
So we have a redundant question sometimes. It's because we do ask our viewers to
There's
turn down...
very clear regulations in the state involved with progressives and the handling of the money, having money on hand, payment verification process. That's what dictates progressive, whether it's at a grocery store, whether it's at a Arizona Charlie's, or whether it's a mega jackpot like we have.
Ed Rokich and Paul Larson, thank you very much for being with us this morning and clearing up probably a lot of questions out there.
Thank you for having us.